the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by Donorbox.
Are you planning a fundraising event this year? What's your main goal? If the goal of your fundraising event is only to raise money, don't even waste your time. Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Cara, fundraising coach at Donorbox. We're here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. Seasons are changing, and that generally means fundraising event preparations are heating up along with the weather for most nonprofits. So many nonprofit leaders, founders, and fundraisers hedge their bets on fundraising events to bring in revenue. But is it the best return on investment? Probably not. But if the event is a good fit for your organization, it really could reap dividends in so many other ways. Let's talk about some ins and outs of events, plus a quick check to make sure your event is a good fit for you and your team, plus a good fit for your organization and its supporters. First, let's start with if you should have an event at all. Events are a popular go-to, but it's not always a good idea to rush into something simply to raise funds. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but an event can be inexpensive if not fully planned and budgeted, and it may not make the return you anticipate. So you may want to consider the what, where, and how of event planning. Those are really fun questions when planning events, right? But you need to first ask yourself and your team and your board the big question, the why. Are you hosting an event that bolsters your strategy? Is it driving awareness of your mission? Is it within the capacity of your staff and team? When considering whether to hold a fundraising event, there are several important factors to keep in mind. The first and most important factor is whether an event aligns with your organization's mission and goals. Will the event drive home your mission, and will it clearly communicate the message you want to share? Are you sharing compelling stories, statistics, or testimonials that will resonate with attendees? And then the second factor to consider is what secondary benefits might you glean with a fundraising event? I teased you earlier with if you're only holding a fundraising event to raise money, don't do it. It's these secondary benefits that might make your event a must-do. You'll want to look at events through a major donor lens. So events could help facilitate the relationship building process of boards and major donors and corporate sponsors. It can be an extension of that major donor work that goes on year round. And what about donor retention? If you incorporate well-executed fundraising events into your donor retention strategy, you can pull in new supporters for sure, but you'll also be deepening the sense of connection and loyalty with others that have been part of your organization for a while. So when you decide to host a fundraising event, just remember, make the mission memorable. Have you ever attended an event and on your way out to the car been like, that was really terrific? Maybe you felt all warm and fuzzy, but then you couldn't remember what the big idea was all about. Don't let your donors walk to the car after your event not knowing you or why they're there. Drive your mission home. If you feel confident that an event is aligned with your mission and you have the necessary resources to make a success, I say go for it. Events are a great time to make your mission shine. You have a captive audience, and you can show and tell why you are so great at what you do. Events provide a unique opportunity for your supporters to interact with you and your brand and your team on a personal, really immersive level. Coming out of the pandemic, I'm seeing that people are a lot more choosy about the events that they want to attend in person. People are expecting more meaningful engagement and tangible takeaways than they previously did. And it's also clear that people are hungry for networking and peer-to-peer conversation. So I don't know whether that's been the lack of quality or quantity of networking over the past few years, but offer your event as an opportunity to allow others to speak to each other, to speak to you and your team, and make it meaningful and significant. I think that is really going to help you make your event a success. Okay, so now let's talk about how to identify the best type of event for your fundraising goal. More than ever right now, it's important to understand the different type of fundraising events and what they're able to deliver for you, maybe how they can help your organization achieve its goals. So first, we have the ever popular a-thons event. So These are the events where participants engage in a specific activity like walking or running or even gaming, and they seek donations from supporters for their efforts. Then you have golf fundraisers. Those are popular. They really create good opportunities for growing corporate sponsorships and networking. We went really in depth with golf fundraisers last week, so go back and listen to last week's episode on the podcast. Golf fundraisers are perfect for sports enthusiasts who really want to have fun while supporting a great cause. And then there are galas. These events are formal and they're upscale, and they usually feature a dinner and entertainment and maybe a silent or a live auction. The costs can really be high for gala type events for newer and smaller organizations. So as you consider if that's something you want to do, just make sure it's mission centered and aligned with what your team can pull off. And a great alternative to consider is hosting a small group dinner instead of a gala. And so these are more intimate events. They're held at someone's homes or a smaller venue where attendees can enjoy a meal together and learn about the organization and the mission's work. These are very, very popular and very effective right now. And another great option is a guest speaker or a panel event. And these would be designed to feature experts in a particular field who can draw in attendees with their expertise and insights, and also draw a lot of awareness around the big issue that you are working around. So those are some great types of events. Which one might be most aligned with your mission and in your goals from your fundraising event? So with those elements asked and answered, it's time to look at the bottom line. Let's talk about budget. Overspending can lead to a loss of resources and can really hurt your organization in the long run. So you really need to tighten up that budget when you're planning an event. And here are some tips to help you stay within your budget. So first, prioritize expenses. Think about what's most important for your event and focus your budget there. Don't waste money on extras that won't enhance the overall experience just because they're really fun to have, right? Next, request multiple quotes for services and products you need. Don't settle for the first vendor you come across. This allows you to compare prices and choose the most cost-effective option. And it's important to know the contract, read it thoroughly, and understand all the items and conditions to avoid unexpected expenses. Pay close attention to cancellation policies and hidden fees and other details that can impact your budget. And don't be afraid to ask for discounts. Many vendors and suppliers are willing to negotiate on price, especially if you're booking multiple services from them. So don't hesitate to ask for a discount or see if there's any special deals or promotions available for nonprofits. And I will leave you with one essential pro tip on how to work with the budget for your staff and capacity needs. Don't forget to budget for the cost of staff time. So take into account the actual cost of utilizing your development assistant or your event manager, your volunteer manager, your graphic designer, or your marketing team, or whoever else on the team that might be helping. It's important to remember their time and resources are valuable and they have a price tag too. So consider how much staff time, opportunity cost you're spending on your event as well as you're working out that budget. And then, after you've got a budget worked out, align it against your revenue goals. Will you still bring in enough money for your mission after you've spent what you need to make the event happen? Did you know ticket sales generate the most revenue for fundraising events, even more so than raising money at the event? I was really surprised to learn that. But take a look at how many tickets you'll need to sell at different pricing tiers. And this is where Donorbox can really help. And here are 3 reasons why I love the Donorbox events feature. So Donorbox events is your ticketing solution. And what it does is it calculates tax-deductible amounts for your attendees. And it sends them complete receipts automatically with the tax deductible and fair market values listed, so you don't have to make a single adjustment or calculation after the ticket is purchased. And your organization can offer the opportunity to add an additional donation during checkout, and that's nice and clear to your supporters too. So that's another revenue boost. And I think the best part about Donorbox events is that you can either choose to offer your event ticketing form on a customizable and free web page hosted by Donorbox, or you can easily embed the form into your website. You can offer multiple payment options, including credit cards and Apple Pay, on both Donorbox hosted and embedded event forms. And the best part of all is you see all that activity right in your Donorbox account. So these should help you make the most of your ticketing once you're ready to set your event in motion. And oh my goodness, that's a lot for one little podcast episode, right? Events are a big deal, but they really can be a boost for your organization if they're done well. If you remember only 2 things about fundraising events today, I hope you remember these. Number 1, if raising money is your only goal, don't host a fundraising event. They don't often have a great return on investment, but the secondary benefits can really help grow your fundraising program down the road. Number 2, focus on your mission. Do not let people leave not knowing why they were there. You have a captive audience for a short time. Do a tremendous job showcasing why you are worthy of support. And you are so worthy of support. So thank you for choosing to spend time with the Nonprofit Podcast. Be sure to check out more about Donorbox events in the show notes. And I hope you've left with confidence to take a small step today that will make a big difference tomorrow. Don't forget to download and review the podcast, or give it a thumbs up if you're listening to the Nonprofit Podcast on YouTube. Your review is a great way to help others find us. You're here to help others. We're here to help you. So until next time, stay inspired.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is Donorbox, helping you help others.